womo chemu ekosi se even though abaya momo commitment no basika no enya heti womo accounts yet, but with the immediate steps abaya are taking into the initial direction and our directive by yes womo enkate some of the power the gas supply to the terminals, I mean sir directive ning na no womo eye free ho said ye be ya natural gas ne beba na womo a ehia bi e power machines no man kania na gina so no womo timi aye ne sa enti that is the next conversation we having this morning na executive director at the Massemse eye Ben Insia osanso eye energy policy analyst menino endi enkomo about this latest development na unim say minister Enrechi na Ashanti region the Dumso situation no eye very critical in the Ashanti region, and in that part of the country, people are experiencing the intenseness of a year Dumso ye can wasem say. Ma many bennies here in the encomo. Boy, what's him good morning, and to saying
good morning, Minia.
Maybe I will call you. And first off, tell us the issue between the government of Ghana and that of WAPCO, the producers of the natural gas, and a lot of the independent power producers are light, I mean, they would have to seek a gas supply from this particular organization. Mamintio on the latest development between the two organizations.
I think that the energy sector, no, that be a kind, especially power, no, the problem with Kessben is gas, because there are legacy areas that we have to deal with. There are recurrent expenditure we have to pay. Also, Sika was allocated for investment in the sector. I bet me modernize it, upgrade this sector, so that inefficiencies are observed. A bit. And Bibia no akwa ni sika se mohe WAPCO deal ya WAPCO air transport natural gas from Nigeria to the southeastern enclave, that's the Tema enclave. And now also reverse flow and also a transport gas no from the Takrady area from the FPSO through the pipelines to the south eastern enclave, which is the Tema area. And or the beef Nigeria but no assign for be free. Takrady and so Ediaba Tema area also that
which is the Atuabo enclave, no, right?
Yes, Atuabo enclave, no, not or they are free or no aside Diaba. And it is so because most of the Tema plants are situated within the southeastern enclave, which is the Tema enclave area. And most of the Tema plants on the Wanti or Yajima or Nigeria Diano, not or Ghana Dian. So then I brief Diano the cost in care for this transportation because it is factored into what we call the WAPCO, integrated cost of gas, price of electricity. Transportation of this natural gas is one of them. And it is we have to prioritize it because natural gas is very cheaper compared to the other fuels. It is also natural gas because WAPCO is on transporter. What it means is that or alternative fuel or emergency fuel, which are very, very expensive. And right, any minister share or just a non-quantity cost to a minor about $700 million. $700 million in also crown, and yet I feeling in one session of the time, not never cost these huge sums of money. A brand natural gas, I feeling in a very reliable need to be supplying in Nana. And can that cost 1.2 billion. But now because of some of these suspensions, we flow, some of these suspensions, gas supply and on supply, and when you know Emma, you push it to alternative, which is very, very expensive. I was saying, yes, buying or compare the natural gas flow as against better other fuels now. On Piscanona on more onshore Mubopa. And I think that when we are very committed to Bosha Oshe, now we deal Bosha Swa. Abribiano can't say Umeya. I know these companies also agree, say Ombema Waye. But in the future, I will say reclassify, renegotiate some of these agreements, and maybe instead of say yɛbɛnya PPAs and as a gas supply contracts are the kingdom contract na sebio enye the abbreviate we say tuano we say yes sano because ne Ameri deal no Ameri abeye dia sanka most of the PPAs sign you know most sign say odi wajuma 20 years time for company ni mayen ye dia and as even the gas pipelines ni bi ye omo ko hwehwe say monye madwuma mo ye wajuma we are 20 years monye musika abey o mine dia nka most of these infrastructure would have been that of the state but sign contractor still yes omo dia na ye kosuntua ni etua sika kese eno na man e kanu abedru dia do no.
Now the concerns again, no, as a country, I mean, don't we have the capacity to put up some of this infrastructure? Because it's more or less like we are dealing with private entities, and they, I mean, they are in to make profit. And your inability to finance a year or more projects or more any one contract agreement, now they tell you that they will no longer supply, and then they bring the whole state to a standstill. The conversations we are having around the energy sector and the debt we are told say by now government is on its way to clear about 10 million Ghana cedis out of the already existing 20 million. No? I mean, what should be the next plan going forward in getting some of this infrastructure done for the state?
The next plan is one, we need to find money, especially with respect to natural gas. They will say a phase 2 of the processing plant because the of the processing plant, what it means is that the domestic sources generate natural gas for power plant, and we must commit all the natural gas to power generation because we don't have that particular capacity now. ADB fertilizer and because as a divert into other areas, I means empower your sector. So you hear phase 2 of the Atwabu gas processing plant. I think that fine we share this I'll be see medium and long term. Because you to me silly and maybe 2 years or 3 years time. So is that medium and long term? But we must have a phase 2 of it. Phase 2 of it Nigeria and gas bit me Astopo. The purchase of gas because the procurement is quite expensive compared to the sometimes Granata Locrado Edima free because now or inject a big oil no more flare a lot and or flare beyond emission levels. Engineer was all the money free, but they say was started young cracker. They say it me generate gas not a gas near in abundance. We may not invest much in procuring fuels, other fuels, and other fuels are very, very expensive. In the Anosperma, Yinam Kanyano, Kana Edamuno, Agina Aye, Ako, Fum Kakra, and go on cost to know some of these things. The other part of this infrastructure mentioned in respect to pipelines. Yes, I think WAPCO Ghana has a share in WAPCO, even though it's an international organization, the Ghana shares room, Kakra. But beyond, and they also yes, we have so minor, you delay certain pipelines. So far as we are thinking of say generating natural gas, converted that natural gas for power, feeding into the power sector, and they will say building infrastructure to be able to distribute or discharge these natural gas into some of these thermal plants as a source of power generation. Future is discussion, but another maker say, this year and one appendix of the budget now. I mean, we are committing 28 billion to settle sector shortfalls. We committed 28 billion to settle sector shortfalls. Esla no ntimi ntua akano.
Okay.
If you soon to mean this kind of ECG cross the minister might say and said ECG this kind of bosomia you see on only 200 and some 250 million pay on accounts 250 million over 100 million pay and yet certain procurement would be upgrading the system, which means ECG is also going to face the problem of modernization of its system.
Now, modernization of its system, and they almost spending over 30 million Ghana cedis, Edia Kokra and Niema, including transformers, in the last 3 years, they've not been able to clear. Until the ECG itself, I mean, how do they even set their priorities right? Vis-a-vis the budget allocation, say at least they must do some routine maintenance and then exchanges in terms of equipment. Used to say plus demorage cry man. So is that entity really serious in managing the electricity and they want more distributive for industry and households generally?
I think that the previous government, any previous MDs must be interrogated and say to me, we must prosecute them because sometimes what things
because our location is now if a budget allocation for the year it doesn't even come close to expenditure we in care, and yet you prefer say obeying care more losses in terms of revenue. Then what kind of company are we running?
Yes, I think that the previous government cannot budget allocation. So I think every month no more 500 million Ghana of accounts. Compared to this current government is about 245 to 250 million. The current government now slashing by 50% or so. So we're slashing this idea. Meaning now. Current government is now or the procurement issue, but the previous government, I think that there should be certain investigation. Who actually did that procurement that you see here for the next 5 years or 10 years? Who did that? Why did the fellow do it? Was he prosecuted? Because this is also causing financial loss to the state. Is it Budu? Is it Bakuno Frinan Summer Dubik? Yes, procurement in a year, Nena. What's a prosecution because there is huge causing financial loss to the state, and people must go to prison for that if the law finds them guilty. But beyond Minia, say a infrastructure, this is a buying eco PPP or called joint venture this can be non in the court, but say a buying between an SCA committee a lot of resources to some of this infrastructure and it'll be a very long term because government is battling. Clearing the sector there 28 billion or so bit material.
Yes, and the government are committed to that, and not still company no air bokagum.
Company no so this year no company no liabilities crown who can in about 68 billion Ghana cedis. There was a company to meet you, company need to meet you, and they are buying was over support and also currently this year expectation is that government should have about almost 50 billion Ghana cedis to be able to at least clear a chunk of this debt. Or clear 50 billion Ghana cedis next year, and so clear. And now, Emma sector may face a problem with respect to infrastructure development and also modernization of the system. Until the beer you are buying between me, I net with Onwanisika. This on ya PPP and a venture B, and now Obi Baye, only Pani we are saying me a number of years, number hand you over to state. And I think that is one of the models are buying considered. Yebema Ankram Premier BC or Jinisika Via, what year no some years to come, Nana, Wakasoki State, ya hand you over, send ya Merino, ne Abe Ghana, ya Pushibiko Kumasano, Sana, some of these models we have to look at them carefully because a binum Ababe Jumano Agnesikasa, Nemum, Omuda Super Somuchadia Caniano, send ye or Muchadia Titino, and it doesn't augur well for our industry. For example, some of the IPPs are more than 10 years. And more than 10 years means that by now they would have recovered any investment. But still, they want to charge us huge tariff. A
hard game. Very well. Ben, but wrapping it up with you, now, Oko a year Ashanti regional, Dumsono a year very eminent. Now, share a year videos, ye show on your TV screens, the minister was there in about 2 days ago, Jinapo. Now he makes the assurances. Niema be stabilize kakra. There are some 40 equipment here. Now the question I ask is that Ameri Nankesiha down south, and I say yen found the northern part of the country, yen center in Ashanti region, not in taking care of the northern part of the country. The flow of the power or electricity. You're situated Ameri in Ashanti region. Why is the Ameri not working up onto expectation and they Dumsono Ababebre in the Ashanti region?
Okay, so why Ameri is not working, then it means that it just concluded that the problem is a generational problem. But as of now, no. the Ministry of Energy and confirm said the reason why I do so Ashanti it has to do with generation. What we got from the ministry is not more some bulk supply point. Normally say Gridco power free the generator no or babia okra power na transfer or distributor across the other areas and ECG geographical areas na some of distributor ECG. So bulk supply point na I think it's around 65 MVA. That is megavolts amperes. Not ewo. But na anyway, so anti say can you be not a blue machine no because can you na bano any the Ashanti region for a demand no na sa particular 65 MVA no into me and kremu. Inti minister ni na green say yen sanko 145 MVA. Kumasi. That is what they are doing now. They've now changed it to 145 MVA, and which means that to say the tax in the revenue manner to say articulate and revenue manner. So in the coming days, I think that place problem no best solved. So it has not been conclusive that a generational problem, and that is why I said that the whole sector also needs some form of investment. A bit more about say generation A is stable. We are supply the generative fans events and can here. Even though I'm married, you have full setup. I think we've only sent about 150 megawatt. I'm married say about 250 megawatt. I think ADB can bit me assetting but it's not a generational thing. It's the system, the transmission lines or problems. MVS maybe extra until the load no break it down, and also distribution lines maybe is a problem. But they say, welcome. It won't mean some modernization system. We go this car or the bomb. I be increase some of this modernization. But the bit market say in recent times after minister not addressing some of these problems, and it also has to do with poor communication from either Gridco or ECG. Gridco no is over maintaining or an or bulk supply point should have communicated to the people of Ashanti region that this is what we are going to do, and it's going to take some number of times and at days as an kakra, right? But no communication was done. But in recent times, I think the doom so in Ashanti region has been stable after so much change this particular megavolt amperes. No, I stable kakra.
Very well. Benjamin Insia, Executive Director at the SEMSE, and then Energy Policy Analyst. Ben, I'm highly grateful for your time.
And
that is Benjamin Insia speaking to us on the energy sector and the current happenings within the Greater Accra and the Ashanti region about doom so. That is so hard journey on TV. Richard Mame, a Mary plant, that is what you are watching. The box supply point, maybe distribution taking place in Kasano. Who's a minister Jinaport together with the Ashanti regional minister. One more echo visitation just to make sure the Ashanti region the lights are kept on na ebetime abua. Many of the people in the Ashanti region are of the beliefs it is some form of deliberateness. The people of Ashanti region will suffer for that. Enti a Mary plant now Womodiaba Ashanti region no ana who say no kama. We live to see changes air cost no any ejuma air cost no will allow the light to stay on a year the Ashanti region. And that is the conversation around the energy sector. We have the assurance of government say womo ebetua by close of this week 10 million Ghana cedis to WAPCO na afe womo teme amekishio say ene enkania no ebetime ejina so.